This is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association, located at 1601 East 18th Street, Suite 200F.
What's up, Kansas City? I'm Serenity, and we have comedian Bobby J. What's up, Bobby?
Not much. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. So you're from Kansas City, right?
Yeah, born and raised. Born and raised. Yes.
So how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for 11 years, 11 long years. I started in college actually. I was at Lincoln University, and I used to host like events because I was good at like cracking jokes and stuff. So somebody, I don't know, this is a true story. I got into comedy not on my own. Somebody signed me up for a comedy competition, and I took the challenge and did it. And rest is history.
Yeah, I heard you're like real good at roasting people, right?
Yeah, I'll roast you in a minute. I'll roast you in a minute. Yep, that's my life.
So who would you say inspired you to start getting into comedy besides just the contest?
Really my inspiration, ironically, is Ricky Smiley. Just the stuff that he says, it was like listening and it related to my family and growing up. And just the characters, when I saw him, it was like I saw my life or whatever, everything he talked about. So that was like a inspiration from a writing standpoint on how I wanted to portray myself. But the biggest inspiration would be like Sinbad and Eddie Murphy. Those are like some of the first people that I saw do stand up, not on TV or whatever, but that was something that I always wanted to do when I saw them. And Sinbad was clean, Eddie Murphy was really raw and cursed, but they both made me laugh equally. So I knew it was something there.
Speaking of Ricky Smiley, you're getting ready to do some upcoming project with him, right?
Yes, this is my third comedy special. I did two before. One was Simply Funny, the first one. I did that in 2010, and then in 2012, I actually did my second one, which was Good in the Hood, and I did it at the Gym Theater. It was during Juneteenth weekend. I did the Gym Theater, packed it out. Had a little joint venture with a couple people, a group called All in One Entertainment. We put that together, and it was a good show. It was a good taping. And now this next one, Ricky Smiley actually took me on his tour a few years ago, and just out the blue, he was like, "Hey, I want you to do some shows with me." So I went to Oklahoma City. He's like, "Yeah, I want you to do more dates." And I was like, well, heck, all right, cool. So he added me to his tour. After that, we did about 8 cities, and we've just been friends ever since. So this comedy special that I'm doing now, I'll do it here in Kansas City, and it's going to be called I Can't Make This Up. So it's going to be a lot of randomness about my family and, just growing up here and just things that I've experienced in life. And Ricky Smiley is going to actually present it, so he'll be here, and he'll bring me out, and just we'll make it happen. Yeah.
So you have a large following online. Like,
Yeah.
how did you get so many followers? How long did it take you to do that? Like, tell us about that.
You know what? When Twitter first came out, I didn't know what it was. Everybody was like, you need to get on Twitter. You need to get on Twitter. I was just on Facebook. Facebook is real lonely and people miserable and bitter, and it's just a lot of. It's a sensitive arena, and Twitter, I signed up for it, and I kind of threw a couple jokes out there. And what I did is I was like, you know what, I'm getting followers. And that's when people would actually start following because they were figuring out who's who of Twitter. Right. And immediately you have people like Lil Duval and Marlon Wayans and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just about to start going at these guys. And I'll shoot something at Marlon Wayans and Lil Duval and even Ricky Smiley and stuff like that. And they would respond, and we go back and forth, and then people that followed them would start following me. And of course, I was on tour at the same time. I started a college tour at that time, and people were like, "Hey, you're from the guy from Twitter or whatever," and I didn't know Twitter had that much power, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow!" So I would look up, and like, let's say I do a college. I would say, hey, follow me on Twitter, and at the time it was Bobby J Comedy, and everybody phones will light up, and then they'll follow me, and I have like 700 new followers like that, and I'm like, wow, this is something, you know, Twitter is something, and then just the alliances that I built with people and tours that I've been on, and just going around the country and things like that, it helped out a lot. So one day I looked up and I was at like 30-something thousand, and it just kept going up. And Facebook, I don't know where I'm at on Facebook, but you know, I have a fan page there, and it's
kind of boring compared to Twitter.
yeah, it's not as fast. You know,
Right,
I'm a
it's not
fast
interactive.
tweeter. You know, and I tweet probably a total of 20 minutes a day, but it's like at one time, and then I get off of it. So I just throw it out there, and then I come back, and my mentions are filled up and stuff. So it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So you did Comic View with some more.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience working with her and how that was.
Well, some more hit me up online actually, and she was like, you know, I like your writing style. I'm trying to build my team up, and you know, she just kind of just liked the person that I was. So she actually came to Kansas City, and she was at the Improv for a weekend. So we did I think 7 shows. After those 7 shows, she was like, hey, you know, you want to do Comic View? I'm the new host. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to do Comic View, you know. And at the time, everybody had to audition for it. Everything I've gotten, I have an audition for it. It was, hey, phone call, you know. And I get a call about a week later from the producer in Amber, and she's like, hey, Bobby, I want to, you know, extend the offer to do Comic View. I'm like, hey, cool. So, you know, back in the day when they did Comic View, you had to get yourself there. You know, you had to pay and fly yourself down. They'd pay you, but they didn't really, the hospitality wasn't where it was at this time. So they were like, yeah, we're going to send a driver to your house and take you to the airport, and you picked up from the airport. Then we filmed it in Atlanta, and all this, and I'm like, okay, you know, I ain't that big, but let's do it, you know. So they picked me up, took me to the airport, and got there. They picked it was a handful of comics that were there. They picked us up from the airport, and then they had this guy. I thought it was overkill because they had a guy with me the whole time. He's like this big old
bodyguard.
dude. Yeah, big old bodyguard. And I'm like, hey, let me soak this in a little bit. You know, move out the way. There's nobody looking at me, but you know, it felt good. So it was you know, it was a good opportunity. I got there and saw some more, and you know, with filming a show like that, the episode was 30 minutes. We were in the studio for about 8 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was cold in there, and nerves were, you know, going, and I paced. If anybody tell you that was there, I paced for like 6 hours, and I'm nervous. I'm like, I'm cold, and I don't like to perform cold. So I'm like, man, I'm cold, and I kept walking to stay warm. And even in my dressing room, it was cold. So it got to the point where I paced so much, my knees were like sore, and I've never had that happen before. It was just like, you know, I just wanted to make sure that I was ready, you know. So I got out there, and nerves went away, and I killed the show. You know, it was a good opportunity. Got a standing ovation. Still waiting on the episode to air, but you know, we're getting communication again that you know, they're basically revamping the network, so we'll see what happens with that.
I know you said something earlier about juicing and your health and the road.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, because most time, you know, people don't think about how you're traveling a lot, and if you want to go just a little bit into that.
Right. You know what? With stand-up comedy, there's no insurance plan or nothing like that. It's a rock and roll lifestyle. You know, you travel. I travel a whole lot, and you know, you get out on the road. You're in the airport. Everything there is just burgers and fries, and it's quick food. You're on the move, and then when you're in the club, it's liquor and club food, bar food. You know, in December of 2013, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I've always struggled with high blood pressure. And at the time, I was 250 pounds. 4 years before that, my friend Just Jay, he's a comedian from Kansas City as well. He passed away. And he had basically had a kidney transplant, and he had some complications from that. And he was, you know, struggling with his weight and everything like that. But I didn't really feel the effects of touring and traveling because it wasn't like I just blew up. It was gradual. And if you look at old videos of me on YouTube, I was like, kind of
Yeah, I noticed that.
puffed up, So, but then I started getting around the road on the road, and I would talk to other comics, and I'd be like, hey, where's such and such at? I'm like, yeah, he passed away. And I'm thinking these guys are 35, 40, and I heard about 2 other comics, and then others going through health issues, and I was like, you know what, it just scared the heck out of me. So I started to just do a lot of cardio, and as far as my diet, I juice 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch, and then I'll eat a dinner. But that's helped out a lot. So I'm about 40 pounds lighter, but I'm not gonna wither away or nothing, So I gotta get back at it. But it's something that's important, and I'm grateful that I didn't end up in the hospital or something bad happened before. I just had to kind of see things happen and kind of look back and say, wow, I'm not taking care of myself. So that's a big major part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would somebody get in contact with you? You got the Twitter, Facebook.
Just as the child support office, they know where I'm at. They always find me.
Well, besides this?
I'm on social media. Everything is pretty much Bobby J Online, BobbyJOnline.com. On Facebook, it's Bobby J Coleman. But I got a fan page, it's Bobby J Online as well. But other than that, that's the best ways to find me, just BobbyJOnline.com.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. I'm Serenity, reminding you to spit your piece. Make sure you check out whatsupkansascity.net.
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.